I have some new tour dates to tell you about. This week, I'll be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, La Crosse, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Moline, Illinois. Colorado Springs, Casper, Wyoming, Billings, Montana, Missoula, Montana, Bloomington, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Champaign, Grand Rapids, Lafayette, Louisiana, and Beaumont, Texas. All tickets through theovon.com/TOUR, and thank you for your support. Today's guest is the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. He's a fourth-generation Teamster himself, and he's from Boston. I'm really excited about spending time today with Mr. Sean O'Brien. I've never been in a union, I don't think.
What about SAG-AFTRA? You did some acting.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's right. I had to get in SAG-AFTRA one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I was in that union. Yep. I used to work at a pizza joint, and one guy was getting fired, and we're like, you can't fire, if you fire him, you got to fire all of us,
That's
you
great.
know?
That's what it's all about.
And the guy, he just fired all of us. Yeah, and he was right, actually. Mr. Wayne, he was the owner, and he was right, dude. We were horrible workers. We was drinking and and just deep frying everything in there. Anyway.
That shouldn't be a terminable offense.
I like your attitude. We needed you. Sean O'Brien, you're president of the Teamsters Union, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that the term?
Yes, it's International Brotherhood of Teamsters.
Okay. And what is a Teamster?
Well, Teamsters started out traditional truck drivers. They were horse and buggies back in the day, and then evolved into trucking, and then we represent everybody from airline pilots to zookeepers and everybody in between. So it's not just a trucking union. Our largest employer is United Parcel Service, representing 340,000 Teamsters nationwide. And
United Parcel Service?
Yeah, UPS.
Okay, UPS.
And then, we do all the provide all the transportation needs for motion pictures, trade shows, public sector. We're pretty diverse and large union, 1.3 million members nationwide and in Canada.
In the Teamsters Union?
Yes, sir.
And so it was a team of horses. That's why the name is.
Yeah, horse and buggies. Yeah.
Yeah,
they had teams pulling horses and buggies. We've been around since 1903.
Okay.
So you can see how transportation and has changed over the years. But, it's a great organization. I'm fourth generation Teamster.
Yeah. Oh, so are you the first president of your family that was ever in?
Yeah. All my family members, just rank and file members, went to work every day. I started out in a construction yard in Boston, a rigging company hauling cranes around, and I just moved up the ladder, became a shop steward, then became a business agent for Local 25 in Boston, and just kept moving along.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
And a union is what?
A union is, we represent working people.
Okay.
We collectively bargain for our members. We make certain that we protect them in the workplace, process all their grievances, but more importantly, organize workers throughout the country that want to be unionized. And we've been very successful doing that. And we just want to represent working people. 1.3 million right now. Hopefully we'll be 2 million in the near future.
Amen. And yeah, because I know unions are responsible for the work week, right?
Right. So
the
unions
40-hour
work week. Look, the unions have set the bar. Even non-union people benefit when you organize. And, we've organized in every industry, but we're responsible for overtime. We're responsible for the 40-hour work week. We're responsible for the weekend. A lot of people don't know that, So,
yeah. God, thank you. Well,
but if we do have to work the weekend, we're going to get double time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now didn't they just make a law that it's going to be it won't get taxed?
Well, that's a campaign promise from President Trump, I believe.
Oh, so it's not a
so
definite.
as you know, promises sometimes don't come to fruition. So, but it is recorded, so we'll use it against whoever said it.
How pivotal is our unions in the American industry?
Look, we built the middle class. We built America. Unfortunately, as you know, once big business gets involved, private equity of the world, or there's big money to be made, everybody forgets. They get amnesia on who actually is responsible. And there was such a decline in the 80s because, politicians put in some bad regulation. I mean, I can speak for the Teamsters. They passed trucking deregulation, and if I could put the numbers to it, we had 400,000 members alone just in the freight industry. And when they passed trucking deregulation, we lost 400,000 members. Companies went bankrupt, and pension funds took a hit. So,
what happened though? Like, when you say deregulation, what do you mean by it?
Well, the whole industry was regulated, so every company had rates that they had to adhere to.
Okay, had to follow a certain set of rules.
And then once deregulation passed, it was a race to the bottom. Oh. And unfortunately, that hurt us over 3 or 4 decades. And now there's such a opportunity because there's so much corporate greed out there where these white collar crime syndicates known as corporate America are just all they care about is the bottom line of their balance sheet. And, we've been fighting hard for the last 4 or 5 years to expose how greedy these CEOs, these corporations are, but also how corruptible the political system is. It's funny, before you always had Democrats fighting for working people and, Republicans. Now we kind of see a switch where working people feel like, number one, they've been left behind by the Democratic Party. 2, the Republicans say they want to be working class, represent the working class. They have an opportunity to do it. But, I think we've got a huge opportunity to organize, and we've been exposing them and we've been fighting. And, our biggest opponent right now is Amazon, and we're going to crush them.
Oh, because Amazon, my mom is an Amazon worker.
Is she?
Yeah.
So she's an independent contractor if she drives for them.
Yeah. She delivers stuff for Amazon. So
I'll tell you the difference, right?
Okay.
You look at our UPS drivers. We just negotiated the largest collective bargaining agreement. UPS is the largest Teamster contract in the country, and they're a very difficult company to deal with. However, our drivers are direct employees. Our members are direct employees of UPS. And once you're through a 4-year progression as a driver, you're making almost $50 an hour, full medical, and a pension that you could actually retire off of. And Amazon hides behind an independent contractor model where they pay their drivers about $19.50 to $20 per hour. That's the difference.
Oh yeah. So my mom's asking me for allowance.
What we're doing? Yeah. Well, as she should.
Yeah,
that's true. She brought your ass into this world.
Yeah, you got to pay the tariff.
Yeah, and you don't want to piss your mother off. Believe me, I got a strong Irish Catholic mother who brought up her 3 younger brothers in a housing project in Boston. And she had 3 just like me. Oh, and she's the toughest one I know. And that's the only person I'm afraid of. Or really, to be honest with you.
Really? In Boston?
Yeah, it's like
some of the women in Boston, dude.
Yeah. But my mother's like petting a python. Oh. You give her moments, she's going to squeeze the life out of you. But I love and respect her. And
for sure.
She's the best.
And if a mouse goes missing around her.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get the head nod. The problem, you get the head nod from my mother. It's like she'll go, oh, nice. Head nod, done. You're dead.
That's it.
You're done.
Yeah.
It's like someone put a hit on you.
Yeah, my mother, she delivers for Amazon. Yeah, I don't know how many hours a week she works, but she delivers for Amazon. How hard is it to get a group of workers to unionize, like at a company that's already like pre-existing like that?
Well, we're doing it right now. Like, so Amazon hides behind this bullshit independent contractor model. So they'll third-party leasing arrangement with a company, probably what your mom's working for, and they try and say that they're not employees. We just won a big case in California where it's called joint employer, where it's a masquerade where Amazon controls the other company. Amazon dictates the rules. Amazon dictates where you buy your vehicles and everything else, but they don't take any responsibility when the shit hits the fan. So we actually won that case recently, and we're organizing all over the place. But what we're doing is we're striking for recognition. We're going in there, getting the majority of authorization cards signed by folks like your mom, and then we just strike them and hold them out. And it's working. We've got, because of that victory we had with exposing Amazon with the independent contractor scam, we get the potential to organize your mom and 300,000 other people.
Wow.
So we've allocated tremendous funding to do this. And look, Amazon, the one thing about the Teamsters Union and us, we're not good looking, clearly, right?
Well,
but we don't have the
in some cultures
we don't have the deep pockets, But we've got fight. We've got intestinal fortitude, and we're not afraid. We're not afraid to lose because we're supposed to lose anyways, right? When you're not afraid to lose,
you got nothing to lose.
Nothing to
man.
lose. Yeah. And it's important because we set these industry standards negotiating these contracts so people like your mother, people that aren't organized will see the value of becoming a union member. And look, there's always people that have something to say no matter what. You know, you're doing great. You have a great show. You tremendous success. There's going to be someone that is jealous and doesn't, just wants to attack you.
Yeah.
And we're trying to change that philosophy. We're trying to change that image. And look, we're out there just want to help people. We want to take on schoolyard bullies and we want to put them on their knees,
Oh, I hope you take the kneecaps off some of these perverts, dude.
Yeah.
That's how I really feel. And also a lot of these, like a lot of the tech industry came along and just because they're an app or they're a website, they act like they're not an employer, I guess.
Oh, that's the biggest scam in the world. You got Uber, you got Lyft, you've got Google, you've got all these tech companies. And the sad part is, these politicians that claim to be out there fighting for working people
They're full of
are
shit.
Bought and fucking sold by these companies. And
it's crazy.
It's disgusting. I love it because my job is, and again, I'm wearing the shirt, right? Because we are fucking fighting with everybody.
Yeah.
And we have to because, we have to be someone's conscience. And we're going to be their conscience. These big tech companies.
Yeah. How does the Teamsters afford attorneys and stuff to be able to fight those battles? Like,
well, we have members pay dues.
Okay.
So, the dues money obviously finances the whole operation. And, we are financially secure. We have $400 million in a strike and defense fund, which means that we can strike and, we can support a long-term strike, but also defend against any threat to the organization. That all comes from dues money.
Hell yeah.
And that's how we afford it. And
it's like Newsies. You ever seen Newsies?
Yeah.
I won't tell anybody.
Don't
tell anybody we saw it, but we saw it. Yeah. But it was about a strike.
I just don't want to admit it.
Yeah. I feel,
It's like it's like a couple of those, ABC after school specials you watch, but you don't want to admit you watched and liked them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go
we're supposed to have a big tough attitude as Teamsters. So
for sure, dude. Speaking of strikes and stuff, recently they have. So right now they are the longshoremen are striking, right?
They are from the top of Maine, I think, to the foothold in Texas.
Okay, and what is that about?
It's about, it's like anything else. The longshoremen provide goods and services. So imports and exports coming in, they work in the
ports. On the docks.
They work in the ports and the docks.
Like James J. Braddock, like that.
Absolutely. And, they work, their contract expired the other night, but their last contract was settled in October of 2018. So, they worked through the pandemic. There's longshoremen that lost their lives. There's longshoremen that, can never go back to work because of the ill effects of COVID. But they were out there in the trenches, providing goods and service when supply chain was basically almost coming to a stop. And all these shipping lines, like all these big corporations, benefited tremendously
off them being there.
Yeah, and it's like, let's reward the people that made us a success. Let's reward the people that provided goods and services country. Let's reward the people that risked their lives and the safety of their families to go to work so that we all have everything. And now it's their time. Their contract expired. These shipping lines are making, gazillions of dollars and, they want what's due to them. And, it's funny, you see this criticism online and, social media is great, but it's just a lot of fake shit's on there, and I'm reading it this morning and looking at it this morning, and they're attacking the longshoremen for striking. People are saying, well, they're going to drive up inflation. They're going to cause all the supply chain problems. They are, but do you want these greedy corporations to keep making millions upon millions of dollars? But the biggest threat right now is artificial intelligence to the longshoremen.
Yeah.
If you look what they're doing in the ports in China, everything's automated. There's no jobs. These are
semi-automated at least.
Yeah, these are legacy industries that provide. They're a 130-year industry where provide middle-class jobs to people, and they're getting attacked because people are getting a little inconvenienced. Well, you know what? A little inconvenience. Maybe it'll give some support to these workers and hold the people accountable that caused this strike. Everybody says, "Oh, the ILA is striking." No. The shipping lines that don't want to protect the jobs, that don't want to reward these people that made them a success, chose to strike themselves.
Right.
They
chose it.
Right.
They could have made everybody
Absolutely.
says they're the one striking. No, it's this other group that's not choosing to pay, not choosing to come to the table, not choosing to share. like you said, not choosing to share with the people that have made it happen.
Yeah.
You know,
they're making billions upon billions of dollars, you know? So, I mean, it's like, you know, there's not a whole lot of sympathy from us as far as corporations and these shipping lines go.
And so is that a lot of what the ILA strike is over? It's obviously the fears of automation, you know?
Fears of automation's everywhere. I mean, that's a huge, huge threat to the ILA. But also, I mean, look, you know, everybody's saying, you know, there's people criticisms online and the longshoremen make $140,000 a year. That might be true. But when you start out, you're starting out at $20 per hour, right? And you look at $20 an hour today, what that gets you.
That's nothing.
And then, you know, if they're making $140,000, they're working 70, 80 hours per week. So, you know, there's not a whole lot of, you know, quality time at home with your family. They have to work. And $140,000 is a great income. But you put 2 kids, you got college, you've got a mortgage, it doesn't go a long way. So, you know, it's time that, you know, we close that gap between, you know, the CEO's pay and in this case, the longshoreman's pay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, because what I don't understand is, at what point is tech valuable to us as a society? It's like, do you want, like, I don't want to be a society that there's 11 people watching some robots do stuff. That's what it feels like we're headed towards. It feels like at a certain point you would stop some technology because it kills your society. It kills like the part of you that goes to work, the part of you that comes back, that supports your family, that gives inspiration to your kids because they see their parents working. It's like, it's almost crazy to me sometimes how we keep pushing our society towards advancement if we'll no longer be a society then. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's a society of convenience. That's the problem, you know, and people don't realize the consequences of technology at sometimes, you know. I mean, look, to your point, you know, you're a product of your environment. If you have a hardworking mom and dad that get up every day and go to do a middle-class job, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to aspire to do. This technology, although, you know, we know technology is coming. We know technology is relevant.
We got enough
in certain arenas, but there's still a lot of value to the best computer in the world. That's a human's brain, and you know, your instinct, and you know, there's got to be an opportunity, even if technology comes in to a certain extent, to create jobs as a result of technology.
Right.
Those 11 people you referenced watching robots, well, at some point in time, the technology will get so good that those 11 people will be out of a job as well. So it's like, come on, let's slow this thing down. Let's figure out an opportunity to keep these jobs and give people an opportunity that may not have an opportunity to go to college, that may not have the ability to be proficient in technology, but have a great work ethic and got a moral compass that wants to go in and give a hard day's work for a fair day's pay. So, you know, that's the stuff we've got to look at. And, you know, as a country, we're so short-sighted on the damage of technology. I mean, when you talk about autonomous vehicles, do you want a commercial vehicle, 80,000 pounds, going down the street next to your family of 4 with no human driver present?
Yeah, some guys just, in Indy or something, he has a
joystick,
iPad or something. Yeah, he has like a Xbox controller or something.
Yeah, and there's a catastrophic accident. I mean, you know, and then you check the guy's browser. You know, you don't really want to look at that.
Yeah, he's got some other windows open. You know, what I'm saying? No wonder. Dude.
Absolutely,
he's got VR goggles on over there,
looking at past P. Diddy parties and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's over there smoking out of his own nutsack over there. A lot of perverts over there in India and all over the globe. I'm not trying to single them out. I'm perverted. But what was something I was going to ask you about? Recently we had Bernie Sanders on, and he talked about a shorter work week and about giving proceeds from automation to the workers because they're the ones who have gotten us to that point as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a Bernie's the best. I mean, I love Bernie. I think he's a little mad at me right now. He's yelled at me in a couple Senate hearings, like flared up. But you know, he is truly committed to working class people. There's no doubt about it. You know, we're as a Teamster organization, you know, we negotiate contracts based on 40 hours per week. But there are some, you know, industries that would like a 32-hour work week paid 40 hours, which, you know, that's going to be a tough fight moving forward. my thing is we got to protect, preserve, and improve what we already have right now.
Right.
And
right, because once you start giving away some hours,
you
then
never
you
get
start
it back. You never get it back.
Back. Right here it says Senator Bernie Sanders, chairman of the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, announced that this Thursday he will introduce legislation to establish a standard 32-hour work week. Sanders said, moving to a 32-hour work week with no loss of pay is not a radical idea. Today, American workers are over 400% more productive than they were in the 1940s. And he means that the output is because also of automation, but automation is taking the people's jobs. So then it's like it only makes fair sense to compensate the people who are whose jobs are being taken.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a great justification for it. But the reality of it is most of our members have to work 50 or 60 hours a week and have to have overtime. So, that's an issue that I think we'll be dealing with down the road. But there is no doubt that we should be fighting to create jobs as a result of technology being implemented, not destroy them. Yeah, Bernie's the best. I mean, he is hilarious.
He's very entertaining, man. Yeah. He's very entertaining. I know you had an issue with Malakowski. What was that guy's name?
Markwayne Mullin.
Markwayne Mullin. We'll get to it in a second, and we'll put up a link if people want to watch you guys fight, where people can lease it. But and we'll give the money. We'll give the proceeds to you guys too.
Yeah, we don't need that. I'll do that one for nothing.
All right. Halloween is right around the corner, and one of the best ways to get into the spooky season is to throw on a good scary movie. With all the different streaming subscriptions out there, a Halloween movie marathon can get expensive fast, but not if you have ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN lets me change my online location and trick Netflix into showing me movies and TV shows that aren't normally available here in the U.S. You can get thousands of extra shows. If you don't have ExpressVPN, you'd have to add another subscription or rent it on Apple TV or Prime. So using ExpressVPN could save you up to $50 a month. And it's not just Netflix. Use it to get more movies on Disney+, BBC iPlayer, and a ton of other streaming services. Get your money's worth and get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN for free when you go to expressvpn.com/Theo. That's expressvpn.com/THEO. expressvpn.com/Theo. Make it spooky. Have you ever felt a sense of unease when you leave your home? Wondering if everything will be safe when you're away? I know I have. But it wasn't until recently people started throwing dirty trash against my garage door that I realized how urgently I needed a security system. And I knew my family deserved the best. After some extensive research, I found Simply Safe. I love having Simply Safe protect my home, and the security and service have exceeded all expectations. With Fast Protect monitoring and Live Guard protection, Simply Safe agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm and can even see and speak to intruders to stop them in their tracks. Protect your home with 50% off a new Simply Safe system. Wow. Plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/THEO. That's 50% off at simplysafe, simplysafe.com/Theo. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Is there anything else before we move on? Is there anything else about the longshoreman strike that we should know? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I think it's important to know that it's not the longshoreman's fault that they're on strike. It's the shipping company's fault.
Yeah.
And the media is so out of whack at times in creating these scenarios, saying that this is a political stunt versus one party versus the other. Their contract expired 2 days ago. It just so happens it's in an election year. And look, this strike could end real quick if these greedy shipping lines just give the members what they deserve and what they demand, and it'll be over.
We also, if you think about it, it's like you always hear like the term the shipping heiress or the shipping heir. You don't hear like the Teamsters heiress. You know, it's
don't
like,
have them.
what even fucking side are people on? Like to be on the side of just people that have so much, you know, and at a point it's just obvious greed.
Yeah, I don't think
it's unbelievable, man. And it's unbelievable that our country starts to feel like that's the side it's on.
Yeah,
I mean, it really feels like even just as a regular person, like nobody is support. It's all a sham a lot of times. It feels like, I mean, everybody knows that like the lobbies are so big now that that they control so much, but it's like at some point you would think there would be a break for the common man, you know?
Well, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, that's why we've been working so hard. If you see what we're doing all over the country with the UPS agreement, Anheuser-Busch, record agreements, negotiating strong contracts, we're trying to close that disparity. Right now we got a big battle going on with United Airlines, right? Which, you know, we're telling all these politicians, I don't know if you saw my statement the other day, stay the fuck out of our business. Let us do our thing. And I always say to people, the neighborhood I grew up in, which had a lot of conflict in it, if there were two people fighting in the middle of the street and you had nothing to do with it, keep walking. It's going to end some point one way or the other.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle. But our whole focus on what we've been doing as a union, and look, I'm a fourth generation Teamster. I love this fucking union. It's given me everything in my entire life. But the one thing that we need to do is advocate for working people. And you know what? People say, why should I join a union? Why should you join a union? Because we're going to get you better wages. We're going to get you the best benefits. But more importantly, we're going to demand respect in the workplace, and we're going to fight for you day in and day out. And look, the ILA right now, that's all they're doing. That is all they're doing. They want respect.
Yeah.
And to your point, there's no Harris is however you say it.
Yeah, princess or something. You don't see
listen, just take a look at us, whether it's the ILA or Teamsters. You know, we're not royalty, man.
Yeah, I've been to Boston. They got some definitely. You see a broad out there wearing a Euclid jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she'll fucking.
Yeah, we've got a lot of us from Boston have fucking faces for radio.
Yeah, it's definitely. Oh, you see a lot of a lot of fucking women that are just fucking vaping and just giving hand jobs or whatever, but it's okay. That's
don't forget the tube top with the C-section.
Oh, yeah, brother, yeah. Oh, dude, that's the new Teamsters logo.
No,
brother.
God forbid. No, we've got, listen, the Teamsters Union, we got some of the finest, hardest working women, and they're the strongest.
No, I'm joking, yeah. And look, let them fucking play baseball again, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I would love to see if the union had a league.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Do you guys have a team?
A baseball team?
Yeah.
Well, it's called the Red Sox, but I don't know if they're any good right now.
Oh, yeah. They didn't even make the playoffs, did they?
No, they didn't.
Damn.
No.
But actually, screw you guys. You guys have had so much luck, dude. I can't believe you make that much money selling cheese and stuff. What all do they have over there, Kraft? Bring it up, Kraft Goods.
No, Kraft actually started, it's a unionized paper company.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so it's out of Boston or Worcester, which is, you know, probably 45 miles west of Boston. The Krafts are actually very good in the community in Boston, but that's not the same family.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Oh, damn. Every time that's crazy because every time I'm cheering against the Pats, I'm always yelling like, fuck Lunchables and shit. And I didn't even realize that's
Crustables?
Yeah. I thought it was the same guy. It's not?
No.
Oh,
No.
Damn,
they're very good. They're very good in the community.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. I filled out some comment cards on some of these websites too. I got to go back and take back.
Clean it up.
Especially when they had Randy Moss. Yeah, I was really heavy on the keys back then.
Oh, how funny was he?
Yeah. Oh, he's great, dude. Dude, I went to a fishing tournament one time and I should tell this story, but I will. And so went to a fishing tournament one time. Randy Moss put on a fishing tournament. This is when he was with the Vikings. And you got put with like some fishermen and stuff, and you would go out. It was in Minnetonka, Minnesota on the lake. And I stayed up all night drinking, right? And so I get out there and I'm like, I think we're going to be there for 30 minutes or whatever, you know, like I'm fishing with my grandparents or something. And they're like, yeah, it's a 6-hour thing. And I'm like, oh, dude. And I had like I had to go to the bathroom so bad, you know? And so at some point, they're like, well, just pee off the side of the boat, but I don't have to pee. You know, I had to fucking do a union job, you know? And so at some point, dude, I just had to literally have them troll a little and just hang myself off the side of the boat and just.
Did you have any dude wipes with you?
Oh, no, they didn't even have dude wipes then.
Oh man, that must have been awful.
I just had to kind of hold my legs open and let the water go through fast.
It was like a redneck bidet.
Yeah. Oh God, but thank God, dude. And we didn't catch anything. I couldn't even pull a fish without having to go to the back. Like the second something would tug on there, I was like, I had damn 40 in the live well, you know.
Do you think that had anything to do with what you were drinking the night before?
100%.
What were you drinking?
Jägermeister.
Oof.
It was Jäger, and it was disgusting, and it was, God, I still can't believe that whatever company sentenced Jägermeister on humanity.
Oh, terrible.
That's terrorism. You know, we don't want to say it out loud, but it's terrorism. The dock worker, who's their leader over there? They're
Harold Daggett.
Yeah, that guy's awesome, dude.
He's taking some heat.
Oh yeah,
he's taking some heat.
Good, let him take some heat, dude. Yeah. That guy is fucking awesome.
You know the good thing about what
Play this video real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, Sean. I just want to hear the Daggett. Welcome to Daggett Stand, dude. This guy's a gangster.
It's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men. Because when they made their most money was during COVID.
Yeah.
When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that.
Amen.
I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve.
Fuck yeah.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen?
That's good.
I'll tell you.
And what? So yeah, when they say, and when he says a lockdown, what's that would affect everything, right?
Yeah, the ports are just shut down. There's nothing coming in or out, and you know we represent a lot of members that you know we haul off the ports. The ports deliver to warehouses where it's separated, load on trucks. We deliver it, so it's going to have an impact. But you know what? It's it's a short term pain for long-term game for these guys, and he's 100% accurate. I mean, look, we get paid to fight. We get paid to fight for our members, and that's what he's doing. Look, he's a character.
Have you spoken to him?
So I haven't, but I deal with the leadership around the country. That's the only general president I haven't met that we deal with. You know, I know all the other general presidents around the country from all the other respective unions, and I haven't met him. I mean, the good news is he's so public right now. It's keeping the shit away from me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, huh?
I've been taking a lot of it lately, but I'm good either way. You know, I'm good. But no, he's got the right fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like they
fight.
got the right guy doing it, you know?
Cast of characters. He's, straight out of The Sopranos, you know?
Oh, yeah. I fucking hope they find some bodies in his yard.
Oh, hopefully they don't.
Yeah, you're right. And I shouldn't say that. Sorry, Harold. I don't know. I don't know what he's into. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm saying is, dude, they got to, that's one of the things that starts to happen is it's like, if you don't think that automation, there's no effect to it, right? Then it's just, there's a human cost to that. There's a human cost to it.
Look when you go into a grocery store now, right? Everybody's running to these self-checkouts. I refuse to do it. I don't. And I was actually in a local grocery store probably about a year ago, and it was like late at night, and I forget why I was going in there, just got off a flight, and I got something real quick, and there was an older lady standing there at the register, and I go to her. She's like, go over there, go to the automation. Go over that one, self-checkout.
And she was working.
I go, listen, if I go into self-checkout, you're going to lose your job. She's like, I don't give a shit. I don't like this fucking job anyway. So it was probably something she's doing. I'm like, listen, lady, I know you might not like it, but let's think about the fucking 30 other people that need a job that come here. If I go there, then I'm putting you out of work. I don't give a shit. I'm like, the problem is it's like some people.
She's like, I'm on OnlyFans. You're not on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Elderly version. What is it? The Golden Bachelorette?
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it, but I have a little.
Yeah, I'll confess I haven't either.
Yeah.
And I probably won't.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But no, it's just people.
That's a good point. You don't think about it.
No, you don't. And people, are disgruntled, or that lady might have been having a bad night, whatever it was. But
she might have been out of Zens too, dude.
Yeah, she might have been. Yeah.
If you're working at late shift, dude, you got to put anything in your jaw to get you through the night.
But the problem is, like, she was in her late 70s.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, like, hey, if you got in a union, you got a job, you got a pension, you wouldn't fucking be working at 70 years old. And it's like, and it's like, you're pointing for me to go to a self-checkout, and I'm like, you're putting people out of work. I don't give a shit. Fuck that. Yeah. It's like, she ran out of Pall Malls, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck that. Go Raiders. She starts fucking yelling. Yeah. She probably spends all her money on fucking tattoos, you know?
Yeah, like Marlboros and fucking scratch tickets and shit,
Yeah, remember they used to have those miles you would get with the Marlboros? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. You'd smoke 400,000 packs of cigarettes to get a Camel Joe jacket.
That you got to wear to your funeral. Yeah. They put you in that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get like a blender that said keep smoking on the side of it.
It was like, I remember growing up in my neighborhood, Pepsi did this thing. And remember that story that was on fucking Netflix? The kid won a space shuttle or something?
Yeah, the kid won a space.
So I remember there was a kid in my neighborhood that, he was his kid's name was Mike Lazaro, and he was like crazy, like, you'd peel the cap off and you'd be a prize. I swear the kid had dentures by the time he was 15. He was drinking so much Pepsi trying to win a prize.
Slurping them, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude. What prizes could you get with the Marlboro Miles? Bring up the prizes, dude. We never look at this kind of stuff, and I think this is important. Just to know, back in the day, you had to smoke your way.
Did they have like Marlboro running sneakers?
That is unbelievable. There's no way they had that. That'd be fucking crazy, dude.
Like a gift certificate to like a lung transplant.
Swiss Army knife, a neck brace. Who the fuck wants a Marlboro neck brace? Like at that, like unbelievable hat, shirt.
Marlboro ventilator.
Yeah, that Marlboro thing like this. We're doing good, Spark up.
Those commercials are awful.
Bring up the guy smoking through the hole in his throat, huh? And this guy's obviously from Medford. Bring him up. And there he is. And that used to be a man. That's how bad smoking can get, guys.
I think that was my English teacher in high school.
Yeah. A-E-I-O-U.
Sometimes why?
Dude, I remember there's this kid. I used to tell this story, but there's this kid lived down the street from us. This fella Mario was his name, and he was Italian, I think, or semi-Italian, And he used to. Something happened. My brother had to go away for the summer, so suddenly I was his friend. But I was younger than my brother.
Did your brother go to jail?
I don't know if he went to jail, but he went to a place where he couldn't come back for about 4 months. And so suddenly I'm friends with Mario. Like I would tag around with them, but I wasn't right there. So now I'm friends with this dude, and he, I don't know if this is like a union thing or not, but he used to defecate in his yard and make me bury it, right? Make me put it in the ground for him.
Subcontracted the workout.
That's why I wish I'd have known at the time, because I did at least 112 burials for this dude, right? over that stint, over that third of the year. And then actually years later, he died. He drove a boat into an embankment, and I wanted to be a pallbearer at his funeral. And I even wrote a letter to his mom, and I was like, I'd love to put him in the ground one more time,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me, dude. But if I was in a union.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably go after him for retro pay and shit.
Yeah, that's what overtime, I'm talking about. Oh, dude, definitely. And the rose bushes in his yard?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we even talking about? Prize winning, brother.
Oh, Jesus
They
Christ.
won Yard of the Month fucking.
You definitely needed a union back then.
Bro, they won Yard of the Month in a leap year, dude.
Jesus Christ.
And that's big work. And that was me doing that.
And listen, you contributed to that. You should be proud.
But it is true. It's gotten to the point where people don't even think about the people that are doing the jobs behind the scenes, Mm-hmm. And the people that are going in and clocking in day to day,
You look at so we represent UPS, which is, a Fortune 500 company, 340,000 employees, very successful company, difficult company to deal with. And, 53 or 54% of those workers are part-timers. They work 4 in the morning till 8 or noon till 4 or whatever the case may be. And they load and unload these trucks. And prior to us, completing a successful negotiation, they were making $15 per hour nationwide.
Come on.
You had single mothers, going to work there, risking their lives during COVID. They were the unsung heroes of keeping supply chain moving. And, it was a very, very credible argument that we had publicly, but the company recognized it. And during negotiations, I'm going to say, how embarrassing is it that you're making $100 billion with a B, and you have people that are on subsidized housing, you have people that are on welfare that work for you. And I'll be honest with you, like, we push real hard, and part-timers start out at $21 an hour. The long-term part-timers are being rewarded. They get full medical, full pensions. So, they recognized, that they needed to take care of these folks. And a lot of pushing and prodding from us. But at the end of the day, they did the right thing by these part-timers.
And who are the major groups that are pushing back against you guys? Is it lobbies? Is it politicians? Is it just big business? Like,
so I'll tell you, it's a combination of corporate America, and I refer to them all the time as fucking white-collar criminals.
Yeah.
Right? That all they do is care about the bottom line, the balance sheet.
Money, I say, dude.
Right. And so,
we'll bleep out.
Yeah, and then
just so you know that nobody. Just
so then,
don't feel
I mean, fucking prostitutes.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have, these politicians, both sides, Democrats and Republicans. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a Democrat, but they have fucked us over for the last 40 years. And for once, and not all of them, but for once, we're standing up as a union, probably the only one right now, saying, what the fuck have you done for us?
Yeah.
And I'm getting attacked from the left. And we've given, since I've been in office 2.5 years, we've given the Democratic machine $15.7 million. We've given Republicans about $340,000, truth be told. So it's like, people say the Democratic Party is the party of the working people. They're bought and paid for by big tech, those big tech companies.
Yeah, tech is the new fossil fuel, man.
Right?
That's what I say.
Right, and you've got the Republicans who are now saying, hey, we want to be the working class party, right? And okay, you've got a great opportunity right now to do that. And the Democrats, if 60% of our members aren't supporting you, the fucking system's broken. Yeah. And you need to fix it. Stop pointing fingers at Sean O'Brien. Stop pointing fingers at the Teamsters Union. Look in the mirror. I mean, I had a heated discussion 2 weeks ago with Chuck Schumer. And it got fucking ugly.
Chuck Schumer is a piece of shit.
And it got ugly because, these politicians, the one thing I've learned, they fucking walk in and they tell you, I did this for you. Okay, great. Let me tell you what you haven't fucking done for us or our members. And we got into it pretty heavy. And I'm like, you had no problem taking $550,000 from me 3 weeks prior to me going on the Republican National Convention. And then you want to be a fucking tough guy on Twitter or X or whatever it is and throw shit out there about me? Like, whatever.
To support the party, support the campaign. Yeah. The Teamsters Union has historically endorsed a candidate, right?
Right.
A presidential candidate. And this is one of the first times.
Two times we haven't. 1976 we didn't endorse, and 1996 we didn't endorse.
Okay, so for the first time in 30 years now that you guys haven't done it.
And again, the reason why we didn't endorse in 1996, Clinton, because we endorsed him in 92. And look, he created NAFTA, and it fucked a lot of our members over. And we lost jobs as a result of it, so we couldn't endorse him. And
why would he do it, though?
Why? Because who are they beholden to? They're not, even though they say we're beholden to working people, we're beholden to middle class, we're beholden to American worker. They're beholden to, look, all
money.
The money and the next opportunity, right? Because you're not there a long time, right? And, the next opportunity, it's like, what's his name? The guy that looks like fucking Bradley Cooper, the governor of California, Newsom. That guy is bought and paid for by big tech. He's had the opportunity to protect the general public and his constituents from AI, from autonomous vehicles, from all this bullshit that we talked about earlier. And we, the union men and women, actually got him to stay in office as a result of that recall. We went out and worked hard for him. And what's he do? He fucking vetoes all these protections against artificial intelligence, against Uber, against Lyft, all this bullshit. And these are the people that we were supporting.
Right.
Like, are you shitting me? Seriously.
So they're turning their back on you. So
they're
now
turning
you
their
guys
back on
aren't
us.
supporting.
So listen, I can't speak for any other unions, but I'm going to speak for the Teamsters Union. I represent 1.3 million members, and you know, we've said all along, we took over. Like, we want a return on our investment. We want to be like big business. We make an investment, we want a return. And that return with these politicians are supporting our issues. That's going to protect jobs and promote unionization throughout the whole country. And, you know, they've let us down. They've let us down. And you know what? I'm a person, I think, probably to my own fault. My mother keeps saying, you keep fighting with all these fucking politicians, you're going to get us all audited. Well, that's okay, right?
Audit, I thought kill, but that's how they do it
right.
first.
They better get up early, you know? Can't kill the willing, you know what I mean, Theo?
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Oh, I'll take my own life. Now what? You know what I'm saying?
I showed you.
And I'll do it on the clock.
Yeah. I'll still be on the clock.
You bet, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think I'm clocking out for you, dude?
Yeah. I'll be on double time.
Yeah, we're letting that thing run,
Absolutely.
brother.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, people got to step up. And look,
California Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed a Teamsters-backed bill that would have effectively banned autonomous trucks in the state. Wow.
yeah.
And you know how many people there are in California? But what does it say? Assembly Bill 2286 would have prohibited the operation of autonomous vehicles weighing 10,000 pounds or more on public roads for testing, transporting goods, or carrying passengers without a human safety operator physically present in the vehicle. There should be somebody in the vehicle anyway.
There's
It's
no
like...
doubt.
Because that thing's also going to get hijacked, dude. You think MS-13 is going to want a bunch of carrots or whatever's passing through? They're gonna fucking shoot, dude. They sent one of those little gypsy cruisers with the it had a
It's like a Datsun B210 loaded up.
Dude, this thing, it was a little R2D2, but it was like it was kind of aftermarket slightly, you know?
Yep.
And they had one of those rolling through the hood one time with some ice creams in it or something you could buy out of it, and 11 brothers beat the shit out of that thing. So there's what are they even talking about, dude? This shit will get hijacked so quick. But then you're going to have to put a gunner on the top of you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just getting weird. Bring that back up, please, Trevin. Thank you, bud. It's important to note that 35 jurisdictions, including Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Washington, and the District of Columbia, have already authorized the testing of heavy-duty autonomous vehicles. Wow, that's what Newsom said. California remains the only state to actively prohibit these vehicles. But it's also a huge state where there's so much agriculture and stuff, and there's a huge port over there as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. LA Port, Long Beach. You've got some big ports over there. So they're not on strike. They're under a different union. They're the ILWU, but you know, same issues. I'm sure they'll be fighting the same battle down the road. But yeah, this is the stuff that, you know, we're fighting against. And look, these politicians, you know, they got to realize that the constituents don't work for them. They work for the constituents.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to be reminded of. And there's a lot of good ones that do a lot of great work. Like, you know, we've got a great relationship. And our goal is to try and work bipartisan. Because that's the only way we're going to get shit done, right? And, you know, there's been a line drawn in the sand. And our focus has been, as a union, and mine as a leader, is like, look, we can fucking agree to disagree on a lot of shit, and we're gonna. But let's agree on the stuff that we can and get some stuff done in this country. You know, get some real progressive, you know, legislation that we can work together on. But, you know, the focus has been lost, and the whole system's a fucking disgrace, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. And it's time to shake these pedophiles down, dude. That's how I feel. What else does it say on here? The Teamsters Union issued a statement criticizing Newsom's veto. The vast majority of Californians oppose unregulated, unaccountable, driverless cars and trucks on the road, dude. Yes. There's already so many. Yeah, it's like, because then if somebody hits you, what do you can't even sue anybody. You're just what? You're like, that guy hit me, and the cop's like, who? And you're like, fucking nobody.
Why do they need cops? What do you need cops for?
Yeah.
If you can't write anybody up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. Public safety. It's crazy, and it's like,
it's going to get bad.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly, and we're going to be a world of robots if people like us don't step up and hold these politicians accountable.
Look, I'll eat beans, man. I'll do what I got to do for as long as it takes, brother. If there's as long as I got, I guess, candles. I guess, what else do I? Yeah, we'd have to have candles, water.
Dude wipes for sure, you know, unless you're not eating, you know, unless it gets that bad. You're not wiping, you know what I'm saying? Save money on both ends. I hear you.
But yeah, we're gonna have to get some stuff. Oh God.
That's why we get these shirts made up, you know?
Yeah. I'd love to get one of those.
You're going to have one by the time I leave here today.
Hey, man, dude, you see that?
See, we deliver results, not excuses.
Yeah, they deliver results, not excuses. Take me through some of the decision and what it was like behind the scenes to make the choice not to endorse a candidate.
Well, look, the one thing that we pride ourselves on when we took over as leaders was transparency and inclusiveness, right? So when you have 1.3 million members, it's important to make certain you understand their perspective, because that's who our employer is. That's who we work for. That's who gives me the opportunity and privilege to represent them. And we went through, for the first time ever, we brought every single candidate in from the beginning. And, we invited every one of them, from Dr. Cornel West all the way former President Donald Trump, former President Biden, and then VP Harris, and everybody in between. RFK, who I love that guy.
I love that guy too.
That guy's awesome, man. He's the best. And we brought them all in a round table, first time ever, with rank and file members, 8 or 10 of them from various parts of the country, various political affiliations. And we asked them specific questions that were important to us. And, at the end of the day, we did the meetings there, then we did polling, straw polling, in the union halls, and then we did a electronic polling, 1.3 million of our members, QR code, where we had over 40,000 members participate, which is huge. And then we did, scientific-based polling using the Democratic pollster that the Biden-Harris campaign used. And the only poll that was favorable was the poll we did, the straw poll in the union halls, which was polling 44% Biden and 38% Trump. So the other polls were 62% Republican. And so
in favor of Trump?
In favor of Trump, yes. Even we sent the electronic polling after President Biden dropped out of the race. And look, Biden's been great for unions, working people. But the reality of it is,
he's gone.
He's gone. He's gone. And again, it's like, we've got to take into consideration our members' opinions. And I don't have the beauty of leaning one way or the other. I have to represent both Democratic members and also Republican members. And quite frankly, when I spoke at the RNC, that's when the attacks started happening from the Democratic left and the Republican right.
Wait, so just to back up, just so I'm clear on, and so a straw poll means?
It means you go to the union halls. We have 319 union halls nationwide.
Okay.
So you actually have an in-person meeting, town hall, where you get to actually, control the meeting, right? You control the narrative, but our members get to vote in a secret ballot. And, when you have meetings like that straw poll, usually you can put your thumb on the scale and flip it either way. We thought we were going to come out of there with, Joe Biden at 80% and the rest, because, they're your people coming in there for the most part that show up. They're your people that work on your staff. And when it only polls 44%, something's wrong, something's broken. So that's why we started doing extensive polling, which
because
is expensive.
Usually the unions are extremely Democratic.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Teamsters polling data shows members backed Biden 44% to Trump's 36.3%. Right. So that's more lopsided than usual.
Well, we were thinking that it was going to be 80% Biden, because the people that show up at union halls for union meetings and any type of meetings are usually your supporters, are usually the people that are going to vote or follow your recommendations or whatever.
Oh yeah, their children dress up like plumbers and stuff for Halloween and everything.
Well, we do check their membership cards,
Yeah. Yeah, well.
And some of them get in when they're 11, teen. I'm only kidding. Yeah. I'm only kidding.
Okay, so at that point you realize, okay, so things are a little bit more, people have different opinions.
There's a divide.
There's a divide.
There's a huge
divide. So then
divide.
at that point, did you make the decision to not support a candidate or
no, we took all the data. And, historically, the Teamsters Union has never, ever endorsed a presidential candidate till after both respective conventions are concluded.
Okay.
So we asked to speak at the Republican and Democratic. Obviously, we spoke at the Republican, and then we didn't get invited to the Democratic National Convention.
Did they get back to you? Did you asked to speak at both?
They never got back to us. They never got back to us.
And you email them or text them?
Oh, we called them. We sent the invitation, we sent the request to speak at both conventions at the same time. And we heard from the Republican National Convention right away. Now, look, going in there was like, it wasn't easy. It was like, going into an ex-girlfriend's house whose family hates you because of a bad breakup on Thanksgiving and saying, how you all doing?
Oh, wow.
Right? It wasn't a comfortable feeling. And, But like I said, everybody else, when we get the opportunity to highlight American workers and or Teamsters union,
You have to do it.
We're going to do it on any and all platforms there are, whether we're welcome or we're not. And we wanted to do the same at the Democratic National Convention. We didn't get that opportunity. But, so to get back to your point was after we did all the scientific polling, after the conventions, we have a general executive board, which are 24 leaders from all around the country, vice presidents and presidents.
Teamster leaders?
Yes, they make up the general executive board. So we presented all the polling data. We had, spirited debate and dialogue, very respectful. And at the end of the day, there were 3 people that voted to endorse the Harris Walz campaign, and the majority of the rest of the executive board voted to not endorse and allow local unions and area joint councils to go out and endorse whoever they wanted. And again, you get criticized no matter what you do. So, but it was the right decision because both candidates, Harris and former President Trump, didn't answer specific questions of what was important to us. So,
like for example, so which ones?
So it's like our right to strike. Like right now, you see the ILA on strike. We had the railroad workers when we first took over 2 years ago. They're under what they call Railway Labor Act, where Congress can make a recommendation to implement the contract under the process. And they did it. And our members weren't happy. They did it under the Biden administration. And one of our biggest goals moving forward, because we've got this campaign with United Airlines where they're under the same process. We want the right to strike, and we can get the right to strike once we conclude the process. But a lot of times the government will intervene and they'll, obviously implement a contract. So that was very important to us. Look, if we're in the middle of an RLA negotiation and we want the right to strike, are you going to support us? Are you going to stop us? Wasn't a commitment from both sides on that.
On either side, Republican or Democrat.
On either side on that.
Not even supporting your right to strike. That's
right.
Crazy.
That's in certain arenas under the Railway Labor Act. Like airlines are under the Railway Labor Act, railroads are under the Railway Labor Act, trucking industry isn't. Most private sector that we represent isn't. So, we still have the right to strike in other arenas. But these are important industries for us. So we didn't get commitments on that. One candidate may have been stronger on the PRO Act, obviously supporting the right to organize, supporting collective bargaining agreements. We didn't get a strong commitment from the Republican side on, vetoing national right to work. So, and again, when you're face to face with people and you're asking questions, and look, we give the questions to all the candidates prior.
Right.
So it's like, fucking prepare, lie to us, tell us what we want to hear, right? And when they can't answer the question, or they try and go around you, look, we're pretty sophisticated now. We're not as dumb as we look, and our members are certainly not dumb. And
some of them are on break or whatever a lot, but still,
someone might be on break. You know what I mean?
Look, that's fine, brother.
Third coffee break of the day, but
they earned it.
Thank God for the unions.
Yeah.
But they didn't answer the question, so it's like put the polling numbers together, put the in-person interviews. We did the right thing. Right. We did the right thing by our members, no matter what. And I'll defend that all day long. But, the problem is it's like the good news about this whole situation is you see how treacherous the far left can be and the far right. And I think it's fucking hilarious because, don't threaten us with a good time. You want to fight? Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll cut their money off. We'll do whatever it takes. They're going to have to earn it moving forward. They've done a lot of personal attacks. They've done a lot of attacks on our members, and we're ready to go. Whoever wins, either way, they're
gonna have to deal with you.
They're gonna have to deal with us.
Good.
We control commerce in this country.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And we're powerful, and we're not afraid to fight. We'd rather just fight corporate America, instead of dealing with this other bullshit, which is a distraction. We've had politicians, right, that. Oh, we support you. We support you. When we're doing the UPS negotiations, there were some high-profile people that, and senators that, claim to be the working people, the Schumers of the world, and some others. We're pro-union. We want to support unions. They wouldn't sign off on a support letter for UPS workers prior to going into these negotiations. They wouldn't sign off of support letters, while we're striking these DSPs where your mom works at Amazon. So it's like, what does that tell you? It means, they're afraid they're going to get their campaign contribution taken away from Amazon and big tech. Well, don't say one thing and do another. Be consistent. If you want to be in bed with big tech, just tell us. Be transparent. Like you'll always hear me say, the one thing I do, and this is me, probably to a fault, I always state my fucking intentions clearly. I'm going to come after you. We're going to get X, Y, and Z for our members. And if you don't, you're choosing to strike yourself. So accept the consequences. If you're going to screw us over, don't fucking hide behind false promises. Screw us over.
Yeah.
Tell us you're going to screw us. I'm happy. We'll figure out how we deal with it moving forward.
Fuck me in the face. Don't fuck me in the rear or whatever. How some people do it. I don't do it like that.
No. No baby oil here.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, if only Diddy would have unionized, man.
He would have definitely violated every human resource policy and procedure. He probably wouldn't lasted too long.
Yeah. And one of it, the first one, wash your hands. That's the number one. I mean, that's above every sink,
Or age appropriate.
Amen, dude. I got my producers some tickets to the Tennessee Titans versus Green Bay Packers game a few weeks ago, and I did it on Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for concerts and events easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Additionally, Game Time has the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets and any tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code WEEKEND for $20 off your first purchase. Correct, baby. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code WEEKEND for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. We all wear masks sometimes, ways that we present ourselves to the world and just things that we allow people to see. But behind that, sometimes there's a whole orchestra of stuff going on, thoughts and feelings and uncertainties. And a lot of times that can get overwhelming. When I get in those instances, I reach out for help. Therapy, I'm talking about. BetterHelp is exactly who I'm speaking of. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. October is the season for wearing masks, but some of us feel like we wear them all year long. Now you can change that. Take off the mask with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/THEO today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Theo. Yeah, that whole thing's crazy. I think the government or somebody, the CIA, whoever's busting him, they're going to use that as leverage to get people to speak out for political leverage or speak out in favor of politicians in lieu of getting exposed. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just wouldn't put anything past any of these organizations now. So that was why you guys didn't endorse a candidate. Is there still the possibility for you guys to endorse a candidate?
No, we're not going to endorse it. We've made a decision that we're going to stay out of it and, see what happens.
Nothing would change that?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Look, if we change our position either way, we look weak. We're strong,
right?
And I'm strong. We're strong in our position. And there's people that don't agree with it, and that's fine. That's great. And the problem is like, remember one thing: everybody's opinion matters, right? Especially our membership. And I'll tell you, I'm so disgusted on with the behavior of people like attacking each other personally. It's like we're in the best country in the world, which we're provided the greatest freedoms in the world, where we can say and do whatever we want within reason, not breaking the law and not be retaliated or any retribution against us. And this whole process, that's complete opposite of what we stand for.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking disgrace. People are laughing at us around the world.
They're laughing at us because we're not taking care of our workers.
Right. No, workers or the communities. I mean, we're getting involved in stupid shit, attacking people personally.
Oh, you mean union members are?
No, it's just the whole
people
the political bullshit.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's disgraceful.
That they would then want to make you guys look bad. It's crazy. Yeah, for workers not to get paid. But then you do have people that say, well, these guys make so much money and this and that. But a lot of that you're saying is just bullshit. That's not the starting out salary.
No, it's not the starting out salary. And, you know, majority of our members are working 50 to 60 hours per week.
Oh, yeah.
You know, life-family balance doesn't exist in certain industries. And we've been fighting hard to make sure that we negotiate contracts that, you know, limit overtime or limit people being forced to work. And, you know, people might think, you know, everything is great in this country. There's still a lot of workers out there that are hurting.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people that are hurting, that are living week to week, paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, indeed.
And it's a disgrace. And we're giving money out left and right that, you know, let's take care of our workers. Let's take care of the people that make it.
If your worker's last name was Israel, you'd have all the cash you needed, you know? That's for damn sure. But it is unfortunate. Yeah, my mom's out there. She's driving a fucking catalytic converter 30 miles out into the desert to drop it off, or, you know, delivering auto parts sometimes. And, you know, and it's like, and she's not even getting paid by the per mile or whatever.
No.
It's just, you got to think about all those things, you know. And
who's making the money? Who's doing all the work and who's making the money? It's easy.
Yeah, Big Muffler. Or whoever it is, dude. New York Amazon delivery drivers join the Teamsters in surge of momentum. That's exciting. Hundreds of Amazon drivers at a delivery station in Queens, New York, marched on their bosses today to announce they're joining the Teamsters. I think striking's fun, dude. If you have somebody out there with a drum or something.
Oh, we get it all. I mean, we've got strikes are awesome. I mean, the one thing about strikes are two things. When you strike for recognition, it sends a strong message to the employer that, you know, our members are united, our members are strong, and they want to fight for a contract. And if you don't, we're going to withhold our labor. I mean, there's a lot to be said about disruption, and the positive effect on it.
Yeah.
And look, it is what it is, and you know, it's not easy at times, but you got to fight. You got to stand up, and it's a great litmus test for us because we know how strong the group is or isn't. And these Amazon workers, I got to tell you, they have courage and conviction like I've never seen. And, you know, 2.5 years ago, you know, we put this as a priority. We've got to organize Amazon workers. And we have been working, you know, tirelessly around the country. And this is going to be a reality. This is definitely going to be a reality. You know why? Because once you shut, you know, companies like Amazon down, or you shut a DHL down, or any company, you shut the ports down, it sends a strong fucking message on, look, this is important, and these corporations need to realize who's actually in charge, and it's not them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I long for the day that like everybody just like all of these like Facebook headquarters and different Verizon, whatever. I don't care if my cell phone doesn't work, dude. You know
I don't want
saying?
a cell phone anymore.
Yeah, I know. It ruins everything.
No, it's awful. It's awful.
It's like we've ruined kind of, it's like we've let technology take away so many things that were valuable to us, and then you see the effects of it on children, and they don't know the difference, right? But then you see some countries like Poland who are standing up for like whatever their beliefs are as a country and like their moral fortitude, and it's interesting. It's interesting. Sometimes I wish that we did more stuff like that. You know, we started to realize like, hey, just because this is a technological advancement or because it makes things easier, is it good for us as humans?
We've dummied down society.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, look, think about this. You know, we talk about phones. I used to be able to memorize 10 or 15 phone numbers, right? Yeah. Because I'd go to a payphone and I'd call someone, and I didn't have the number written down. I'd have to memorize it.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I can't even tell you. I'm lucky I know my own phone number because all you do is just speak into a microphone in your phone and call Theo.
Yeah.
Bang, call you. I don't even have to know your number.
Yeah, call my bookie or whoever.
Yeah. I want a beeper. Let's get a beeper back.
Oh,
beeper,
yeah.
let's put payphones back in the corner.
Payphones were
a home run.
The best part about payphones was when you were on one and some guy, like a homeless guy or whatever, or like,
well, someone trying to rob you can just hit him with the receiver.
Yeah, it's true, dude. But it was never long enough. It would get it would get an inch from their skull, and it'd
be like, oh shit, now he's gonna hit me.
Yeah, you have like put in 40 more cents, and you'll get like 3 extra inches of cord, you know, and you could beat the guy, you know.
Crank calls were the best from payphones, huh?
Payphones were the best also because Well, first of all, you used to be able to hide from people. You could be like, I can't be there. Nobody could know where you were. They couldn't get in touch with you at all times.
Yeah. Do you share your location?
You'd have to, oh, no, I don't share my location, dude.
I don't either.
Yeah. I'm not sharing my location, dude. That's crazy. With who? I don't even know who would. Yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. You're not gonna see me coming, motherfucker.
Imagine your parents tracking you like 25 years ago on social media.
No, I would have tied my phone to a cat's back or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Let that bitch hit the streets.
Duct tape it to like the German Shepherd's collar. and run around. Oh, it'd be awful. They track. I'm 53 years old, and we ran wild like back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't imagine my mother. We ran her hard. But I can't imagine like these fucking idiots put everything on social media now, and it's like, really? Like
we used to be able to lie.
They rat themselves out.
Oh yeah. People rat that. They tell their boss they can't come in work, and then they're partying or something. They're at Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. We used to be able to lie to somebody, and they didn't know you were lying.
No.
What about that beautiful piece of America that we lost?
The ability to lie and not get caught?
Oh, yeah, dude. You could tell a woman you were a lawyer or whatever, and she's like, you're 11. And I'm like, who cares? The defense rests, you know? Yeah. But those were the days, man. You could go into another city and, you could just make up stuff. You didn't have to be a criminal forever if you were online or something. So much of the fun is gone because a lot of the mystery is gone. But the last thing if we lose the, man, it's just so crazy because so much of the fabric of our society has started to dissolve. It's like, it's not as much of a Christian nation anymore. It's not, we haven't stood up for even if if it doesn't have to be a religious nation, it should be a moral nation, right? And we don't protect, we don't stand for things morally. Business is just taken over. It's, like greed. It's gotten crazy.
How about people? Everybody talks about, all this righteous bullshit, right? And a lot of some of it's good, some is bad. But, recently I work in Washington, D.C., and there were people actively desecrating monuments and lighting the American flag on fire. Now, regardless of what your position is on anything going on in the world, growing up, the one value that we add is you respect that flag and you defend it with everything you got. Yeah. And I posted a picture of an American flag on social media, and I'm not really allowed to touch my social media, because guys like Will and Brian, my good people that are around me, chief of staff, they protect me from myself because there's certain things that just drives me nuts. But I posted the American flag and I wrote, I will defend and honor this till the day I die, and everybody else should. We're in the greatest country in the world. I got attacked on these private DMs saying, well, Supreme Court said it's legal to burn a flag. Okay, so it's legal to burn a flag because the Supreme Court says, is it morally right to desecrate something so sacred? So that's where I think we got to get back to basics and say, look,
I agree.
Let's fucking cut this bullshit out. We're in the greatest place in the world.
But we don't even, but now it's almost, if you say America, you say USA, you're suddenly you're far right. It's like if you put an American, some people think the American flag, it's it's been positioned by the media that it's not our unifying flag anymore, that it's for one party. And they did that on purpose. And it's unbelievable. It's sick. And we took the Pledge of Allegiance out of schools. Little things that I think have an effect on yourself and your psyche in a positive way to make you feel like you're part of a group. And when you don't feel like you're part of a group anymore, you don't feel like you're part of the fabric of America, that it's not a real thing, then you start to only look out for yourself. And that's when I think things get really scary.
Well, if it was so bad, wouldn't people be leaving here left and right?
Oh, yeah. All those people that said they were going to leave or whatever, and they're leaving, dude. I wish they would leave.
Yeah, I love this country, and it's look. Do we have our flaws as a nation? We all we have our flaws as human beings. Every one.
Yeah,
of
look
us.
at the Jets.
Right. Yeah, I know. Jesus. And but it's a great country. It's something that people should be proud to live here.
I know.
And they should respect it. And the fight isn't amongst ourselves. For us, guys like me and our union members, it's like we were afforded freedoms because of that flag, because of the country we live in, where The enemy is not ourselves. The enemy is corporate American crooked politicians. It's fucking easy.
Yeah. It's weird when the enemy now is in your country, though. That's the thing that's gotten different, you know? It used to be that you would, you know, your enemy was other countries or the countries you had conflict with, and now it's gotten to be that the enemies are running our country, or they are in debt to people who are running our country.
It's
you know, or our leaders are in debt to our enemies. That's what's gotten weird. Our leaders are in debt to people who don't care about the morals of this country, you know, and who don't have any.
No, and it's there's got to be a solution to the problem, though.
That's what I hope, brother. I fucking hope, dude. I will fucking chew the tires off somebody's asshole, brother. I fucking hope that we can change things, dude. You know, and I think there's a lot of guys out there who can, you know.
So that phrase you just said, chew the tires off someone's asshole. So if I had to interpret that in a Boston interpretation, what do you think that would be?
Oh, man.
Like just give him a swift kick in the nuts?
No, I think it would be I'd put a cannoli in there somewhere.
Yeah, North End?
Yeah.
The Italian section?
What's that one place? It's so good. It has
Straga?
the green awning. It's open all night.
Oh, the Bovas.
Yeah, you go in there and they got Mike back in the back, and he doesn't have, he may still have a couple of teeth. I don't know. There's an update you can get online. I haven't checked it.
With nice tooth?
Yeah. And they're like, tell him, Mike, and he'll be like,
Yeah, I think that's Bova's Baker. It's open
that's
24
it,
hours,
bro.
Yeah, Bova's
God,
Baker.
that place is good, dude.
Yep.
I'm not gay, but I'll suck off one of those cannolis, brother. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying, dude? BLM, dude. Those things are good. And, bro, you go in there, you can meet a lady. They got people in there, dude. And the guy that works in there works with his ex-wife in there. They're in there running it all night.
Yep.
But, yeah, they got the guy in the back who's still got, he's got a couple of horsemen left in the stable back there, and every now and then
there's some thoroughbreds back there.
Oh, every now and then he'll sound off, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every now and then somebody will
You know what's good about that place?
And every now and then, they put him in a Vince Wilfork jersey back there, and he'll fucking start rattling around.
Back in the day, that place used to be great because you come out of the bars in Faneuil Hall or North Station, and that was the only place open, and, you know, after drinking 35 beers, it's a good idea to fucking eat a couple cannolis and a little tiramisu. But then you'd end up in the corner and you end up fucking getting in a fight, argument. It was like WWE after eating cannolis and Italian pastry.
It was WWE Claire's, dude.
Oh man, yeah.
You'd see
WWE
two guys beating the shit out of each other with fucking frosting all over their cheeks.
Oh, it was crazy.
One guy's got a fucking apple Krella just slammed to in his throat.
It's funny. I live right near there, and it's still open.
So
It's an
good,
icon. Yeah.
Oh, last time I was there, we went in there, and it's so good, dude. Yeah. God, that place is good. It's
salt and battery with a cannoli.
Yeah. Oh, bro, they got the best stuff in there. Bring it up. Bring up their website. What's it called? See what they got on there. Let me see some of the items over there.
Oh, you got to go with the whoopie pie.
Oh, they got them?
They got them right there.
Oh, yeah, huh? Yeah, some of those things. Oh, they got those little
that's
creme brulees, brother.
Now, my son that you met today, he's a type 1 diabetic.
Is he?
And he always tells this joke, right? But like, see that stuff right there on the website? Mm-hmm. It's pretty sad when that can save his life.
Oh,
Forget CPR, that'll save his life.
Put a little Kreller in him, huh? Put a fucking little bit of Boston cream in his snout.
Oh, absolutely.
Bring him back to life, brother. That fucking sugar Narcan, homie.
Yeah. That poor kid has diabetes. These politicians have fucking liabetes.
That's a good point, dude. Oh, I hope it's almost weird because you're almost like, will some country come and rescue us? But it's our own country, you know?
I know.
It's like, that's the part that's
we got
to
rescue ourselves from ourselves.
We do, but it's definitely greed is one of the biggest things. So with the country kind of divided, and even with the union having different views in politics, how do you keep the union unified? Like, how is it tough to do, or is it?
No, I mean the one thing that's important is, you know, the inclusiveness of the union. You know, we're not a dictatorship. Our leadership is something that's never been done. Where we are out there, myself and you know, my general secretary, treasurer, my partner, and all this, Fred Zuckerman. We are actually out 3-4 days per week in work sites all around the country. We're not talking to leaders. We are talking to rank and file members in every industry we represent. And look, this political shit that's going on right now, the presidential race, it's important. But what we do is represent workers. That's the most important thing. So what do we do to keep them unified? Negotiate the best contracts, be out there, be visible, be transparent, be inclusive, but more importantly, be honest with them. The part of the issue with a lot of situations we've been through over the last 2.5 years is, and the success we've had is because we've been honest with our members and we've empowered them. We've empowered them where they know we have their backs. They know that if they want to take on a fight, okay, we're ready to go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. And should every worker be part of a union, do you think?
I think every worker should be part of a union. I mean, look, think about it. We set the tone nationwide on industry standards. And look, everybody should have health care they don't have to pay for, that an employer is paying for. Everybody should have a pension that they can retire on and actually maintain their quality of life while they're retired. So, yeah, everybody should have that. That's the American dream.
Yeah. And unions, it would feel like, are especially disadvantaged because because their healthcare costs go up year over year, and those costs get levied out to the members. The members have to, even if their salary is going up, the cost of the healthcare is going up the same or similar. So it all washes out, Like I was reading the other day about there was a union 32BJ, I think it is 32BJ.
SEIU, yes.
Which has workers paying 37% of their compensation of their earnings to health care.
The members spent, what you're saying is the members spent $37 million towards the cost of some of their premium that they pay in the health insurance. See, with us, that 37% of their compensation goes towards health care. Yeah, so they're paying a cost, part of their compensation towards their health care. We go into every single negotiation. The majority of our members in the big industries do not pay anything towards the premium. The employers, we demand that they pay the full. Now, there are some industries that pay, certain percentage towards it, like public sector, but we get the ability to negotiate that. We get the ability to negotiate free health care and stuff like that. And that's important this day and age because, again, you get back to big business. We're out there fighting for the best benefits for our members' health care. We want zero to low cost. And who's making all the money? These fucking providers, like, the Blue Cross, the insurance company, Blue Cross, Blue Shields of the world, the Kaisers of the world. And they act like they're providing us all these great benefits. We're fighting for them. Right. And they're actually a vendor to us. So in some instances,
right, we're the customer.
We're investing in our own demise in certain situations, right? So, we've tried to change that narrative as well. But yeah, it's a disgrace. That's a disgrace.
Yeah, and I read an article that in New Jersey, police, fire, and teachers unions are expecting a 20% increase in their healthcare premiums for 2025. I mean,
So you take a wage increase that's, you get a 5% wage increase, right? But your health insurance goes up 20%.
Right. That's
what you just lost money.
Right.
Right. And why? You shouldn't be losing money.
No, it's all part of the same scam. It's like, we'll give you an increase, but this is going to be even higher than that. So we know we're going to get the money back.
So think about this. You get a teacher that is responsible for cultivating the next generation and educating that next generation, right? You get a firefighter that's running into a burning building to save your children.
And he doesn't have health care.
And you have a police officer that's risking his life every single day with zero support from communities now.
Yeah, except a Marlboro neck brace.
Yeah, right. And right, exactly, right? And you want them to pay more for their health insurance? Are you out of your fucking minds?
Bro, it's literally going to get to the point, Sean, where you're literally going to have to smoke for medical care. It's going to be like, all right, if you want an IV, it's 20,000 Marlboro.
Yeah. You want a Tylenol, you got to smoke a fucking carton of cigarettes, break them off. Yeah, it's crazy. But imagine those people.
Full body, like just a full body Winston cast,
Yeah.
Just a full body Parliament cast. This costs 30,000.
Tarrington 100
miles. Oh God, that must have been a Boston
My grandmother used to smoke Tarrington 100s, right? And she had like a 3-inch ash, and you'd be sitting there. I'd be like, all right, when's this gonna light the couch on fire? Oh no, when is it gonna light the divan on fire? I didn't know what the fucking divan. Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Divan?
The divan, yeah.
Well,
whatever.
yeah, my grandmother called it a divan.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they both
smoking
had it wrong.
butts. You know, they all smoked through pregnancy, right?
Oh yeah, brother. Oh, you'd see a kid be born, he'd be 4 ounces, bro.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She'd put him in. My grandmother put my brother in a curio cabinet for a little bit.
Kid was craving like fucking tab cola.
Dude, they had fuck. What was I gonna say? My brain's not working good today, man. Some days it's on, some days it's off. You know, it's union. You know what I'm saying, brother? Hey.
Might be on an off shift.
But hey, bro, it's part of the union, dude.
Hey, FMLA.
Hey, it knows no matter what that it's gonna be rewarded.
FMLA, Friday, Monday Leave Act.
Yeah. What else was I gonna ask you? Yeah, did we already ask this? Why does every worker need a contract with their employer?
Well, because look, if you don't have a contract, right? And I tell this to people all the time where we're organizing workers because, you know, we have these meetings with groups that want to organize. And you always get people that don't want to organize, right? They want to be friends with the boss or they think that they're being taken care of. And I always tell them, look, take a piece of paper, write down all your demands. Write down your guarantees like I, Sean O'Brien, demand from my boss and my boss will provide for me 7% wage increase every year, free health care, job security, respect in the workplace. And if you give that to your boss that you're not organized, you think he's going to sign that? Absolutely not. There's no guarantees, right? With a union contract, you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed yearly wage increases. You're guaranteed medical. You're guaranteed retirement. You're guaranteed holidays. You're guaranteed vacations. It's simple. It's easy, you know, and that's the litmus test. Hey, if you don't believe us, then everything that you want, write it down as a contract. You individually go give it to your employer, and I guarantee you one or two things are going to happen. He's going to laugh at you, and then he's going to fire you.
Damn. And now in smaller businesses, it might be different.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of smaller businesses that actually take care of their employees that, you know, we've had instances where, you know, you've had a small business, you know, a couple of people come to you and, and when you get into the weeds, deep down in the weeds, you see that, this might not be a great opportunity for a union and or an employer that is actually doing the right thing by the members. That's the one thing that people lose sight of is what we do as a whole holds other people accountable. So what we get as a union may encourage these small employers to do the right thing selfishly to keep us out. Right. So we do set that bar pretty high. But there's a lot of family-owned businesses that, you know, that I know of, especially in my area where I grew up, where, you know, they take care of their employers. You know, I have a friend of mine, Paul Nazzaro, who started his own business, and he sold it for a lot of money that he probably never has to work again. But he's an example where he always took care of it. It was a small, like, tech company. And when he left, he had an employee that worked for him for 35 years on a forklift. He gave him a $500,000 check.
Wow.
Just, you know, stuff like that. So there are good stories out there, but, you know, the majority of people, you know, and again, I'll stand by it. I think everybody should have the ability to join a union without retaliation or retribution.
Yeah.
And again, but there are a lot of good employers, that small businesses, family run, that have done well and have rewarded the people. So, you know, it's not every employer is bad because they're non-union.
Yeah, man. Speaking of forklifts, I used to work at this place we was galvanizing clevis clamps or something. Some bullshit. I don't know. I got really bad sunburn doing it because we had to do it outdoors or whatever because we weren't unionized or whatever. But yeah, we'd be out there galvanizing shit in the sun and at lunch sometimes we would get real high and we would put each other on a pallet on a forklift and then put it all the way to the top and get the highest dude and just put him way up there and leave him up there while we went and ate. You
guys definitely needed a union.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Dude,
was it the junior guy or the senior guy you put up the?
Oh no, it was a low on the totem pole guy. It was me.
Did they drug test at that company? Did they drug test at that company?
Fuck no. But you knew people were on drugs.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to test.
Yeah. Yeah, just you already knew it.
Yeah, it was just kind of baked
Was it like
in.
a prerequisite?
Yeah, I don't know if it was or not, but it was baked in.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we do when we stand by. We,
Everybody's got to get drug tested?
for the most part, most of our members do, which is a good thing. You don't.
Do you guys use USADA? Who do you guys use?
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh, you don't?
No.
USADA?
No.
They're a big drug testing company. One of America's greatest mysteries is the Hoffa mystery, right? So we got to ask about that, and what happened to him, right? Because he was the Teamsters president.
He was. Well, there was the father and then Junior. The father was an icon. He put the Teamsters on the map.
Did you ever meet the father?
I didn't. No, I was born in 1972. He disappeared in 75. No, but I know a lot of people that did out of my local and everything else, and he was an icon. He really was greatest labor leader ever, and he put the Teamsters and organized labor on the map.
And then he went missing, right?
Yep.
Do you think he's still alive or not?
He'd be 105 or something like that. So I don't know. Probably not.
He's getting overtime if he is.
He might. Yeah, he's probably on the clock still. Probably on the clock.
Do you think he's still on the clock? That's probably the appropriate term. Once you become president, do they tell you what happened to him because he went missing?
No one knows what happens to him. That's the biggest mystery. There's all these theories that he got killed by the mob. There's all these theories that he's buried under Giant Stadium. No one knows. All the theories. But the one thing that is look, he's gone, but the work that he did should never be forgotten. That guy.
He's buried under a Dunkin' Donuts out in Newton or whatever.
Who knows? Yeah, probably South Medford or something. But
there's always we're not digging up another Dunkin' Donuts out here, bro.
We got munchkins to make. No, it's unfortunate what happened, but back then, the Teamsters, it was a very controversial, very influential organization, which I think today we're not as controversial, but we're just as much influential. And no, I don't. I get asked this question all the time.
I'm sure we had to.
But I'll tell you one thing: fascinating thing in my office. I'm in the same office that he had, and then his son,
Jimmy
Junior.
P.
James P. Hoffa.
James P. Hoffman.
James P.
Hoffa.
Yeah, definitely not his father. Was born on third base and actually thinks he hit a triple to get there.
Yeah.
Great name recognition, right? But in my office, it's been all done over. But the one thing is, there's a little closet in my office that, they kept part of the history. And you open the closet door. There's a little closet door in the hallway, and there's actually a 2-reel tape recorder that's still there. So he used to tape record all his conversations in his office and listen to them. You didn't even know you were getting taped, right? Wow. So it's actually still there. It doesn't function, but it's funny. Bobby Kennedy tells a great story, and it is true. There's no love lost between Jimmy Hoffa Sr. and Bobby Kennedy's father. Actually, if you see this, that's President Hoffa at a Senate hearing, flipping off Robert Kennedy, right? But Robert Kennedy Jr. tells a story how driving past our headquarters and with his father, he was probably 14 years old. Mm-hmm. He was probably 14 years old, and he's driving past our building. And his father had a vendetta against Hoffa, and he saw that he was in there 9 o'clock at night working, the lights was on. So he dropped Bobby off and said, I got to go back to work. If he's working this late, he's preparing, I got to prepare. So it was funny, the story, but he was definitely an icon, and he made the Teamsters what it is today.
Yeah.
I had a falling out with his son who, as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do what was right towards the end of the union, and that's the great thing about having a democratic union.
And does everybody's vote in the union count for the same?
All our rank and file members vote. Yeah, we're one of the only unions where one voice, one vote. Each one of our rank and file members gets the opportunity to vote on their leadership.
And so now every union member can vote for any president that they want or any election?
Whoever's running, whoever's declared candidate, they can vote for whoever they want. So most of the time we run as slates. So you'll have the Sean O'Brien slate, or I think we had, it's the O'Brien Zuckerman slate. And we had our opponents last time were membership slate or something like that. And you run as a slate, a team of 24.
How often do you have to run?
Every 5 years. Every 5 years, yep. So we ran in 2000. Our election was in November of 2021, and we take over March of 2022. So we'll have another election in November of 26 and take over, obviously get sworn in for another term, hopefully in March of 2027.
And do you have a campaign slogan, or did you have like a campaign slogan?
No, but I think, we did. Yeah, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time, we've got to be bigger, we got to be faster, we got to be stronger. And we definitely have. We definitely have done that.
Is the union growing?
It's growing. We've organized, just the Teamsters alone in 2.5 years, organized 50,000 new members. And we're organizing in traditional industries. But I know for a fact you've probably never done this. You've probably never smoked weed. But we are organizing in the cannabis industry.
No way.
Where there's 425,000 W-2 employees nationwide.
Bud slaves, they call them. A lot of people are calling them, because they're not unionized.
No, and we have organized. I think we've got 2,000.
They're sleeping in hammocks.
We've got 2,000 of them organized. I think throughout the whole country. So they're into cultivation. There's workers that are in warehousing, and then they're going to be in distribution. So all in our wheelhouse of what we do, and there's 425,000 of them.
Is that one of your largest growing sectors?
It's yeah.
Sector the term, or what is it?
It's divisions.
Is that one of the largest growing divisions?
Well, we're hopeful it will. I mean, we're doing a lot of things differently. Where once this is legalized nationwide, which I think both candidates are supportive of legalizing it, you're going to see, in the safe banking laws a change where, again, these companies can put money into actual banks. You're going to see private equity come out and try and buy up all these smaller companies. Where what we're doing is we're working with a private equity fund, utilizing contributions from our pension funds and investments in our pension funds
to be the buyer of them.
To be the buyer of them.
Let's go.
Right, and obviously, organize within this industry. So there's 425,000.
Is it a conflict of interest though to be an owner?
No, we're not an owner. It would be the private equity firm that we invest in. So it's not uncommon. We do it all the time in other industries. Like,
would you still make the best deal for your candidates?
We're going to make the best deal, because think about it. A lot of times in pension funds and health and welfare funds, we make investments off contributions because, that's what you're supposed to do, right? And it's usually a pretty dynamic asset allocation. You invest in real estate, you invest in private equity, you invest in stocks, you invest in bonds and stuff like that. So, or infrastructure. So think about investing in, a lot of times, especially with private equity, you're investing in competitors, non-union competitors that could potentially put good companies out of business. So we're taking a different look at it now and approach and say, look, why don't we invest in the industries that we actually represent? And instead of investing in our demise, we invest in areas where we can help. So, for instance, 30% of this portfolio will be dedicated towards a cannabis investment, and the other 70% will be in all kinds of other investments, right? We're hoping to raise $1 billion by January or February of 2025. And that gives us the opportunity as well, is like, if there's a distressed company out there, like a small business that's unionized, or even a big business like Yellow Freight, who went out of business because they couldn't get financing because there was a greedy private equity firm known as Apollo. If we had this fund up and running, a couple of years ago, we could have bought Apollo's position out at $600 million, restructure the company, and actually keep 22,000 jobs, right? Wow. So we're doing creative, innovative stuff like that as well. You have to. Oh, you have to, because, like I said, we're a lot more sophisticated, and our members deserve the investments we're going to make on their behalf. And like, you look at the cannabis industry, for instance, right? If it doesn't get organized, what future do people have going to work there? So we organize them. We negotiate contracts that have health care, that have retirement benefits. We're not just creating a job. We're creating careers for people, right?
Right.
Cultivation, warehousing, distribution. I mean, that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, and I can't believe that's one of the biggest growing. That's one of the largest growing.
So they're saturated.
It's like
heavily.
one of the largest growing sectors for you guys, divisions.
They're saturated heavily with licenses nationwide, you know? And that's a good thing, but they're capital poor right now. So they're waiting for this, legalization federally and the safe banking laws to change. And you're going to see, a grab. And if we're not controlling that grab, the best interest of these workers are not going to be at hand. So we want to make sure, first and foremost, that's what we're doing. We're not really concerned with, doing double-digit return on investments. We're concerned on taking care of these workers that work in this industry and making certain that they have the ability to have a career if they choose.
But how crazy that it's even come to that also, that now, in order to ensure that the workers are going to be safe, that the company, that the organization making them safe also wants to be a vested interest in the, you know what I'm saying?
You have to have skin in the game. You got to have skin in the game.
It makes sense, but it's crazy that that people wouldn't just think, yes, we need to take care of the workers.
Yeah, well, so again, you get back to corporate greed.
Yeah.
You get back to bottom line of a balance sheet before people.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. And then there won't be any more people. It'll just be a robot and some, some, I don't even know. Just who knows, some Israeli lizard licking a Bitcoin somewhere, jerking off in a bank vault. One of your most viral moments was you had a confrontation with a fella from Oklahoma. Was he a senator?
Yeah, U.S. Senator Markwayne Mullin.
Markwayne Mullin. And did you guys ever patch that up? Because you guys almost did a charity fundraiser fight right there in the Senate.
We had two run-ins.
I'm not sure. People don't know. I don't know.
We had two run-ins. I was testifying in a Senate hearing at the request of Senator Bernie Sanders, who I got a lot of respect for and I'm a huge fan of. And this guy attacked me first.
What was he upset about?
Well, so when you go into these hearings, and again, we have to submit a 15-page brief, right? So you give that 24 hours prior, and then you got to condense that in your testimony to about 2.5 to 3 minutes. So I'm reading my testimony, and usually have witnesses pro and con on each side. And you have the Republicans on the Help Committee and the Democrats on the Help Committee. And I didn't know this guy from a hole in the wall. And he had an issue with a different union. He owned a business, a plumbing or pipe fitting company in Oklahoma. And I guess they picketed his house. He had 300 employees or something. So he took it very personal, which, hey, someone shows up at your house, that is personal. But the reality of it has nothing to do with me. So he started attacking me on all this stuff. And of course, being from Boston in the neighborhood, I'm like, fuck you, dude. Whatever. You're a clown. I just started shitting on him. He started shitting on me back, right? And poor Bernie, I thought he popped a nitro. He was like, enough. And so that was, it was awesome. You know what it was like? It was you're sneaking in your grandmother's house in high school because you're drinking and your grandfather's up screaming at you. But I felt bad for him. And then, so that was an
engagement. Then he bums a sip of liquor off
before
he goes to bed. You're like, this is definitely.
You got a Marlboro?
Yeah.
I'm 2 points shy. Right?
Yeah.
So,
this is insider trading.
So we get into this big exchange, and then I didn't know who he was. It was actually comical. That was the first time. And then, so after that, of course, I start attacking him on social media, and he starts attacking me back, and we're going back and forth. So then I have to testify at another hearing, and he come in and he was all fired up, because clearly I hit a few nerves, and he's like, stand your butt up. And I'm like, you stand your butt up. I am fucking, he goes, you want to do this? We'll do it right now. I'm like, let's do it. And
they didn't let y'all fight though, huh?
No, it was like, you know what it was like? I played a little bit of hockey, and I don't even think I could jump over the boards anymore. But, if I got over there and he got over, I mean, it's on. But, and poor Bernie, he's yelling and everything else.
I saw that clip.
Yeah, I mean, he called me the next day. He goes, did you have fun? I go, I had a fucking blast, to be honest with you, right? And so then as time went on, Mullin's people and my people were bumping into each other up at Capitol Hill, and they all determined it would be in the best interest if, we sat down and, try to air our differences. If we couldn't air our differences, whatever. But, you know, he challenged me to a fight, like a charity fight. He's supposed to be an MMA fighter. And I'm like, dude, I walk to work. I'll just meet you at a park, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But thankfully it didn't get to that, both sides. And
for the best.
You know, no, I'll be honest with you. Like, I met with him. We agree to disagree on a lot of things. But, you know, he's a sitting U.S. Senator, one of 100, should be well-respected people. I get the privilege to represent 1.3 million working people. You know, we both probably could have done things differently that day, but it was fucking fun as hell.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was good, and it was great because
you need some of that shit because C-SPAN or whatever that channel is fucking boring.
Oh yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's like rah, 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 I'm lying to you.
Yeah,
and you don't even know what's going on there. You know, every now and then.
C-SPAN's awful. It's like watching old people, you know, hump.
And they're all I mean, yeah, if you've done it.
No, I haven't never done that.
Yeah.
Never watched that stuff.
Yeah, hey, look, dude. Hey, as long as you're not watching.
But maybe I'll watch The Golden Bachelorette now or something, you know?
As long as you're not watching it on the clock.
No, definitely no. Be in the break room.
Yeah.
In the break room.
Dude, the break room is always so much fucking fun, dude. I'll tell you this, and I've definitely stolen from my employers. I used to work at the grocery, right? And I was a checkout guy, right? We did stocking and checking that. And then I got moved up to checker and bagger too, dude. And I got up and when I'd go to the break room.
What's more important, checker or bagger?
Bagger's,
bagger sounds a little deviant.
Yeah, baggers definitely. Well, I used to, if it was rich people, I would ring their items up a couple times, and then when poor people came through, I wouldn't ring their items up. But I'd remember, like, okay, I got 3 boxes of cereal.
So you were like a modern day Robin Hood at Publix?
I mean, yeah, I was. It wasn't anything big. It was just some fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch or whatever. Yeah. But I definitely helped out here and there. Yep. You know, did what you could. Because some families they didn't notice it. You know, it's still stealing. But what we used to do is when we go to break, we would walk down like whatever aisle had our favorite food, and we just steal some shit right off the shelves. So I feel sorry about that. I want to apologize. That place is called Del Champs, I think. Went out of business, and then.
Do you think it went out of business because of the employee pilfering, or?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't take much. I usually took
Swedish fish and shit.
No, I do like a banana, maybe a little bag of Funyuns or something. Not one of the big bags. But yeah, it was just everybody did it. But see, that's not a fair thing. Everybody does it.
You just implicated all your coworkers.
Oh, dude, definitely all of them. Chad, Giddy, all those dudes. This one dude used to come, clock in, go home. He worked for us for 4 months.
That's funny.
Like, who is he? People would come to work and they're like, where is he? They came at a picture of him one day. Where is he? This kid named Chucky or whatever. And we're like, who is he? And like, your employee, you're going to rat him out. I'm like, I don't even we never seen that guy.
We don't know him to rat him out.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, working at a grocery store was fun. Do you see do you see the union growing now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can joke about like the breaks and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But unions have proved they're the hardest working, most productive workers in the country. And I think this new generation, that have an appetite to fight and they want to take on the boss, and, they're very in tune with social media. And I think there's a great opportunity. I mean, when you see places like Starbucks and Chipotle and all these industries that have never been unionized, where the young workers that are 18, 19, 20 years old demanding recognition, demanding representation in the workplace, I think the sky's the limit. And I think, again, it sets the tone for the next 10 or 15 years in the labor movement. We definitely have seen growth in the Teamsters and a lot of those industries that have never been represented. It's exciting times.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like it. Well, I'm seeing as more big businesses and things become conglomerates and stuff like that. Yeah, the last thing you have is it almost seems like it's the last choice, and it's the best choice. You have to have somebody fight against these groups for you. This article says this summer alone, 10,000 workers organized with the Teamsters for the first time at a wide range of employers and traditional Teamsters industries like transportation and delivery, including DHL. Oh, we were already talking about that. Yeah, so do you think that, it says also including Amazon, the American Red Cross, Costco, and cannabis dispensary nationwide. So it's it's everywhere.
Yeah, we are. We're hitting every single opportunity. We don't solicit. We have targets, like Amazon, because they're such a bad employer. But DHL, like, we represent DHL around the country. Some places were unionized, some weren't. So what we did is we just started striking them for recognition.
Oh, yeah.
And we shut them down at CVG, which is the airport in Cincinnati, last December, right during the busiest time for them. And what we did there was 2,300 workers. We got a first-time contract there for 1,300 workers, and the remaining 1,100, we got card check neutrality, which they didn't want to give us. But we said, look, no problem. Next December, we're going to do the same thing to you. We'll shut you down. And the good thing for us, once you have a union contract, for the most part, whether it's DHL, UPS, UNFI, Cisco, any of those, we have what they call picket line protection. So we get to honor picket lines all over the place. So we can extend picket lines at different locations and shut down industries nationwide. And again, that's a choice that an employer makes that they shouldn't make. And we've been successful doing that. So as a result of that, DHL's funny. I think they are owned by the Deutsche Post Office, I believe. And
I remember when they showed up with those yellow trucks.
Yeah, they're awful. The Kansas City Chiefs.
What's going on? Yeah.
So we organize, and we have, but they're a European company. And I met with the CEO after we struck him, and I said, he's like, we want to reestablish our relationship. And I'm like, okay, give us card check neutrality.
What is card check neutrality?
It means they just agree to, once we get the majority of the employees assigned cards, we give them to a third-party arbitrator who decides the validity of the cards, and then if we have the majority, they sit down and negotiate a contract with us. There's nothing else.
What do you mean validity of the cards? What do you mean?
Like the arbitrator will determine if we do have the majority or not. And we don't usually submit these cards to an arbitrator unless we have 80% of the cards.
And so the cards mean people
signed up, I want to join the union.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So, they'll determine that, and then they sit down and negotiate a contract. So we had a meeting in Washington. They sent these three, the CEO, their lawyer, and the CFO. And I went with our attorney, Fred Zuckerman, and I'm our general secretary treasurer. We sat down, and they're like, we want to reestablish the relationship. One guy had an English accent, and really fucking aggravating.
Oh,
and, it was like,
good A.
Yeah,
like,
it was
we'll
like,
see about it.
Yeah, all that bullshit. And
pisses me off.
well, we want to have a relationship. I go, well, the only way we're gonna have a relationship, you give us card check neutrality. And he said, yeah, we don't believe in that. I'm like, okay, great, meeting's over. I'm not gonna beg for this. Go fuck yourself. See you later.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, our attorney's on the phone, and their attorney's like, we rethought this, because we told them we'll just shut you down every chance we got. And you don't want to be like that, but when they come in, and especially, they're not an American company.
Yeah.
They could give two shits less about us, but we've reestablished our relationship where we've made them realize how important their workers are and how important a relationship is with the Teamsters. So we've been successful there, and look, we'll work with anybody. But
how say in the weed organization, right? Say the people that work in for weed companies, how do they become part of the union? How does someone who's working somewhere who feels like, okay, I'm not supported, or maybe I'm at a place that should be supported, how do they approach you guys to be hopefully potentially be part of the union?
They'll go to a local union, like a Teamsters local, and they'll
okay, so start at a local
level.
Yeah,
they'll go to a local level, talk to the local union. Local union will either send in their organizer, or we'll provide an organizer for them. They'll go out, talk to the workers, establish a relationship, establish trust, and have them sign authorization cards, meaning they want to join the union. And especially in the cannabis industry, I think we've gotten more card check recognition, because I think two things. They know that, we can strike them for recognition, and two, they know that we have this ability to, make investments in their businesses as time goes on once this fund is created. And it's good. It's good for the industry, because think about it. We're going to regulate that industry, right? So if we don't organize them, the mom and pop that are charging X amount, and I've never done drugs in my life. I don't even know. I've never smoked weed or anything else. But
I've done them. They're all,
they're
all right.
Yeah, I didn't do them because I probably would have fucking loved them.
God,
right?
yeah, dude.
But, I don't know, but you don't want to undercut each other in this industry where it's a race to the bottom. So there are a lot of employers out there that have welcomed us in because of that reason. Like, we don't want to sell a gummy 25 cents cheaper than the guy down the street. So, we've actually regulated this industry to a certain point. But the other thing too, which is very important in this industry, is continuity of employees, right? So if you're providing employees with a union contract, good wages, good benefits, there's not going to be a turnover ratio, right? When we first started this organizing campaign, we were seeing, 20, 21-year-old kids that, they weren't stealing a banana, they were sampling the product, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd get, fired or they'd leave. So, we've actually instilled some stability in this industry just because they know there's an opportunity and they're organized, there's a contract, and there's a future.
Yeah, I think then you feel like you're part of something.
Absolutely.
Which is the same thing like which goes back to our conversation about America. It's just like feeling like you're a part of something, feeling like, I think it used to feel like your country was unionized,
Right.
It definitely felt like that when I was a kid, and we haven't catered to that, and our leaders haven't catered to that, and our decision makers haven't catered to that. One last question. So does the union also work with the employer to do certain things?
Yeah, there's times where we have to work with each other on, legislation that benefits, both our members and the company. There's a lot of common fights that we have to work together on. It's not always a line drawn in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is, it's like, a lot of political issues we have coming up, like, certain issues with Reauthorization Act and, a lot of federal legislation. We'll work with a lot of our larger employers, especially if it's more beneficial for our members.
Amen.
So yeah, we do work a lot with employers. Some employers, you'll never be able to work with. They just, they just dig in and they want to fight all the time. But, we're ready for it either way, but we'll work with anybody.
Do you think you'll be able to unionize Amazon workers?
Oh, without a doubt, we're going to be able to organize them.
Hell yeah.
Without a doubt. And it's going to be, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. But that's where, we're going to call on, the Dems and the Republicans and everybody involved that say they are passionate and supportive of these workers. We're gonna call them out. We're gonna expose them, and we're gonna put them to the test. And that's what needs to happen.
Good.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be their conscience. I want to represent your mother.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I appreciate it. I think that'd be awesome. She likes to work hard. That's one thing my mom's always been, is a worker. She likes to work. It's probably her favorite thing to do.
Absolutely.
So
where did you get your work ethic from?
Probably from her, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's funny. It's like, there's so many things but I do thank her for that, actually, a lot of times.
Yeah.
It was like she was always working, but I do have a strong work ethic because of her. Yeah, no,
it's you're a product of your environment. You know, if your parents sat on the couch, smoked butts, and drank beers, chances are that's probably what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
I had the ability growing up where I grew. My father worked 2 or 3 jobs and hustled his whole life. My mother, the same thing. So, we try and instill that work ethic in my 2 kids and my nephews as well, which is important. And that's, I think, we got to get back to basics in this country. And, I think we have the ability to do it over the next several years.
Well, and a worker should be able to know if they're going to lock in with a company and they're going to be like, I'm going to be here, that I'm going to know that when I get home from work every day, I'm not going to also wonder, do I need to go back out to another job to pay for insurance this month for my wife and for my children? And then they're not home to be home with their children. And so then the children grow up without their parents around. And so then they run into all types of things. So then they're in therapy and they're out using drugs or they don't, and there's no sense of a family. And it just, everything starts to dissolve, and it's just, and it definitely is. There's a part of it is greed at the top, and a part of it is that in a first world country like this, in a country that has the highest GDP in the world, you would think that we would also want the workers to be happy, and worrying about what's next always isn't that. You can't, stress alone, can cause so much damage to someone.
Think about your personal life, my personal life. When you're happy in your personal life, you're productive.
Yeah.
Right? You're driven. Same should hold true with people that go to work every single day. The employer should realize that if you have a happy employee that you embrace and you respect, they're gonna work that much harder for you, right? And you reward, more importantly.
Yeah, reward, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, it's tough to be the certain type of employer to everybody, but that they should be rewarded for sure.
There's no doubt, I mean, you talk about therapy when you were a kid. I just look back at my therapy was a wooden spoon over the head if we acted up,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my mother.
That was the good old days, wasn't it?
Oh, dude. My mother would hit us like Teddy Bruschi, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She would just fucking.
My mother had more hits on us than Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my mother would put on a Pedroia jersey and just fucking tear into us, dude. Just hitting triples right off of my brother.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Did you laugh when your brother was getting beat?
Oh, no, dude. Every now and then I chimed in, dude.
Oh, that
I'd
was
shatter
hilarious.
a wooden chair over that freaking mixed breed.
Do you remember how, like growing up, I don't know how you grew up in your house, but we'd be eating dinner. My father would work 2 or 3 jobs, and you'd be sitting there eating dinner. We grew up in a pretty modest house, very simple. And God forbid, you couldn't poke the bear. God forbid someone spilled something at the table. It'd be Jesus fucking Christ. And you'd be firing, your fork would have sparks on it because you want to get out of that table because you don't want to feel the wrath. You know what I mean? It was awful. But those are the best times.
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun. And part of what you're talking about is a family being able to sit and have dinner together, right?
Absolutely.
And part of that was because, because people are being compensated fairly, and a mom was able to be at home sometimes, and sometimes they weren't. But yeah, and now we've gotten to this point where it's like both parents have to work, and people aren't even building a family unit anymore. And it's and I don't mean that in a negative way. Some people still are, but people should be able to afford to do that in a country that brings in this much, that produces this much. It's got to start to change.
There should be a work-family balance. And look, I'm guilty as charged. I went out to work, and I wanted to work 80, 90 hours a week. I still do. And I always did it with the, objective of taking care of my family, taking care of, my kids. And thankfully, my kids didn't end up fucked up over it. Well, I mean, maybe not completely, but
Sean looks like he's real.
Sean's all right. Sean's good.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm saying?
Jury's still out.
Yeah.
But no, you went to work to provide for your family, and now it's like, you made that choice. Now you don't have a choice, because it's just so hard to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely do better. And it starts with the individual people. And sometimes the individual people can't do it by themselves anymore because they don't have the lawyers to back them up. They don't have the voice they need. So the individual people have to get together and they have to unionize. Yep. And that's where you guys come in.
Yeah, you can't survive as an American worker not represented now that the deck is stacked against you, and the average person, look, you want to go to work, do your job, let us fight for you. Let us take on the grievances at work. Don't bring them home. That's the beauty of a union. You don't have to. You have the backing of a union. You don't have to fight with your employer. Make a call and say, hey, to your business agent, you work for me. This is my issue. This is my grievance. I have faith you're going to fix it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You don't have to take on all that stress. What do they lose by being a part of a union? What does a worker?
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Not a fucking thing.
Before you go, Sean, and thanks so much for your time.
I appreciate you, sir.
Thanks for representing people and supporting people, and being a voice for people, and and sharing things so clearly with us today. I think that we've learned a lot. Is there like a movie or a song? Like, is there something from the Dropkick Murphys or something from a movie, or just something that like really you feel like is like has a union fucking feel to it for you ever?
I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, I knew I wanted to be a Teamster truck driver my whole life, was Convoy. That poor guy just died this past week, Chris Christopherson. But, the Dropkick Murphys are the best. Kenny Casey's a buddy of mine.
Chris Christopherson right there. He just passed away.
He just passed away.
People love him.
Yeah. Rhodes Scholar, too, I guess.
Was he
a pretty
really?
Smart guy, yeah.
Wow. And he drove truck, too.
Well, I don't know if he drove. It's just for the movie, maybe. There was probably a Teamster. I'm sure a Teamster was driving it back in the day. That was filmed in
imagine
Mexico.
if nobody's driving. You don't have anybody to flip off if they go by.
I know. Robot's going to give you the finger?
What fucking fun is that? Yeah, how are you going to do that?
I know. It's crazy.
That's the last piece of America we have, dude.
Yeah, blow the air horn.
Oh, yeah, and if you can't be a 6-year-old flipping off a trucker, dude.
I know. Or like picking your nose, like and stuff like that. That's crazy.
What is this country coming to where you can't even flip off a
Dropkick
fucking
Murphys
human?
are the best. Kenny Casey's awesome.
Yeah?
He's my guy. He is my guy. He's a good friend. Very very active in the sober community as well.
Oh, is he?
Which
Kenny
is,
Casey. I'm gonna have to learn more about him.
Yeah, he is awesome. You know, he's a character too.
He is
Absolutely hilarious cartoon character. You know, but very, very committed to sobriety, very committed to working people, working class guy. He loves unions. Real good friend.
Wow, I'm gonna have to tap in with him. I'll have to send him a DM or something.
Yeah, I can hook you guys
Yeah,
up.
it'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people loved him from up there. That's definitely, I mean, people get married to their music and buried to it.
Coming up to Boston, shipping up to Boston. I was in The Departed.
Yeah?
Yep.
You were in it?
No.
That was in it.
Not the song was in it. Yeah.
Oh, their music.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm a Boston Bruins fan, dude.
Are we gonna sign that goalie or what?
Huh?
We're gonna sign that goalie or what?
Oh, Ratlet? No,
No,
who is?
Swayman.
Oh, I don't know. Not
Yeah.
that big of a fan.
He's in a big contract fight right now.
He is?
Oh yeah, public too. Cam Nailey.
Jeremy Swayman, there he is.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking sign him, dude. Is he unionized?
Yeah, Marty Walsh is representing him, right? Former Secretary of Labor. He's the head of the National Hockey Players Association.
I love their coach, man.
Oh yeah, he's good. Well, my friend's their assistant coach, Joe Sacco.
Oh, yeah?
Guy's the best. We all grew up together. Yeah, family best friends. Joe's the best.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Right there he is.
Yeah, Monty's the best, dude. Joe
Yeah.
Sacco, that's cool. Monty's hilarious, too.
So where I grew up, we had about 4 or 5 guys make the NHL. One on my street, Keith Kachuk, his 2 sons play in the league.
TCAC?
Yeah.
They call him the
TK.
Rat or no?
No.
That's the brother?
No, so the father was my age.
Kachuk.
We grew up on the same street. And he's got 2 sons that are in the NHL right now, Brady and Matthew. Matthew just won. There's Keith right there.
Matthew just won, right?
Yeah.
What's
Keith,
Matthew's nickname?
Oh, I don't know. They call Keith Big Walt.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, me and him went to a UFC fight not too long ago with Brian. We went with Dana White. It was hilarious.
Dude, I was going to say, because you kind of look like Dana White.
Yeah, Dana's
dude.
a good man.
Yeah.
Dana's the best.
But, oh, that's him. That's the guy. They call him the Rat
Yeah.
something, right? What's his nickname? Matthew Tukachuk.
That kid is hilarious. So the mother's a longshoreman.
Yeah,
Keith's,
they call him the Rat King, dude.
Yeah.
We'll
Hey,
fucking see
so-
about that.
Keith's mother is a longshoreman, and she's on strike. I was with the sister yesterday on the picket line. She's a longshoreman as well. And the father, Keith's father, their grandfather, just retired a few years ago, Boston Fire Department. Great family.
Wow. The Tukachuks? No, the Kachuk?
Kachuk.
Yeah. They're definitely, look, I'm not saying they're using extra letters, sir.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trying to snitch or nothing like that.
Yeah,
you know? So it is what it is.
You got to fill the back of that jersey up. You know?
Hey, also in Boston, fucking who knows how to spell anything?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, it ain't
listen,
fucking-
we have a rule in Boston. If it's any more than 3 claps as a word, you don't use it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
3 syllables? You
3
mean?
claps. Yeah. You know, you got to sound it out.
That's a nice rule. Yeah, dude. Wow, Sean, I appreciate it so much, man. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, brother.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Really appreciate it. It was informative. And anything else that you think you need to share?
I'm an Aries and I like long walks in the park, my friend.
All right, dude. Look, as long as you're back in an hour.
Absolutely.
All right, bet.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh,